Hi, everyone, and welcome to S5 University Freshman Orientation. We're talking about Twitter today and how to build your brand on this cool little social platform. Really fun, really a lot of buzz around Twitter still, even as it's been going strong for a few years, and really just a fun way to engage with customers and get a chance to build your brand a little bit. So we're going to be covering some of the most basic principles on Twitter. If you have any questions at any time, of course, feel free to log those in the chat room or either in the Q&A, and I'll get to those as we go. And we'll also have a Q&A session at the end. So feel free to ask as we go along. Again, this is all for you guys. We want you to understand what's going on here and what we're trying to do to build your brand and what you can do on your own as well. So quick little overview of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about Twitter terminology. This is a big one because Twitter does have kind of its own set of vocabulary that doesn't get used on all the other social platforms. We're going to talk a little bit about how to optimize your profile, some quick strategies for gaining followers, taking advantage of the trending hashtags and things like that on Twitter. So first off, I just threw out a Twitter term that you guys probably need to know, hashtag, right? So if you've ever scratched your head and wondered what the heck people are talking about with this, the pound sign, the @ sign, when you see something that says RT, what does all those things mean? So here's a quick tutorial of some of those terms that you need to know. So the first one is pretty basic. It's a tweet. And for some reason, on Twitter, we refer to a post as a tweet. On Facebook, it's a post and things like that. But on Twitter, it's always called a tweet. And these posts can be no more than 140 characters long. So that's really the thing that makes Twitter unique, is that it does make for some really, you have to be brief, unless you want to go off and do a string of tweets that's, 1 of 30, 2 of 30, and go on and on. And people do that sometimes if they have something they really want to rant about. But it's definitely a short form of communication and not somewhere where you're going to go off on a long rant about something for the most part. Now, every now and then you'll see something that someone has retweeted. And what that means is that maybe someone shared a statistic or an article or something funny that they wanted to share. And so, say someone saw it and other people thought it was so cool and they retweeted it. I saw this the other day. Twitter was exploding with retweets because there was a thing on, they're making this new Star Wars movie, and Star Wars always makes social media go crazy, right? But Luke Skywalker and the new girl tweeted some photo for saying happy birthday. And so everybody on Twitter was out retweeting that same photo because they thought it was so funny and everything, right? So when people do that, something like that, it's probably obvious that it wasn't them who took the photo. But there is a retweet button that lets you retweet it as is, and it will mark it as retweeted. Or other times people will just copy it and put in the abbreviation RT, which means retweet. And the reason they're doing that is because it means it's not their original thought. It's something that they've gotten from someone else and they're sharing it with you that way. Now, this is the big one, hashtags. These are the symbols that are kind of the secret ingredient to trending on Twitter. They're used to categorize your content, and they make it easier for people to find the topics that they're interested in. Now, I come from a library background, so I always like to think about this as like putting the Dewey Decimal System on a book in the library. If you just have a book that's floating out in the library and nobody knows which shelf it's on, it doesn't really do anybody any good because no one can find it. So putting a hashtag on your tweet is like adding that Dewey Decimal number that tells you where in the library you can find that book. And you see these a ton. Jimmy Fallon on his Tonight Show has a whole thing every week where he does funny hashtags, and they always trend huge and stuff like that. Fun thing to check out if you want to learn more about hashtags is Jimmy Fallon's hashtags. But we're going to talk about them some more in depth here in a minute. And the last thing here is this @ sign. This symbol is used to target individuals on Twitter, and it allows their stuff to show up on their feed. So like for me, if you wanted to tweet something at me, you would tweet @ Kate Drake, which is my handle, K8 Drake, okay, with the number 8. So if you wanted to get in touch with me on Twitter, that's what you do. You would say @Kate Drake, whatever, and then your message. And that way it shows up in my newsfeed and the people who follow me can see it. So let's talk a little bit about how to optimize your profile on Twitter. This is a really important thing and something that a lot of companies don't take advantage of enough. So you're gonna wanna start using some keywords and data that will make you more searchable online. So you're gonna log into your account by going to twitter.com and you'll be asked to enter your username and password. Now, if you don't remember what your username and password is because we've created your Twitter account, we have that on file for you. So if you need to get that information from us, let us know. Just shoot us an email over at support@social5.com and we can look that up for you and send it over to you. So you'll always have access to your own page. So then you're gonna click on your profile, which is located on the left-hand side of your screen over here. And then your page will appear. There's the left-hand side of your screen where you'll see your profile. And then your page shows up and you can make any changes to your profile that you want. So a couple of things that you wanna do, you've got your name for your business and everything. You wanna put in a description of your business. You also wanna put in the location and a website address if you've got one. These will really help make your website more friendly and then, or search friendly. And then you also wanna make sure you have an up-to-date profile picture and a header picture that match you and that fit you. So, and fit your business. Now, obviously, if you've got Twitter with Social5, we'll have helped you with that when we do your graphics and everything. So you should be looking good on the profile picture and everything. But you might wanna go in and edit that business information or your description or put in a little bit more information. You don't have a ton of space, so it's important to try and get those keywords in there that you really want people to associate with your business. So another thing that we get asked a lot here is how do I gain followers on Twitter? And it's a little bit difficult. It's a different social medium in some ways versus something like Facebook where, Facebook has a lot of strategies where we can do like promoted posts or we can do advertising, contesting, things like that make it really easy to grow your audience. Twitter's a little more difficult and it can be a little harder to find people who are in the target audience that you want. So the first thing we want you to do is find your audience. And the best way to do this is by searching for things like competitors, trade organizations, local attractions that are around you, any other place that your audience may reside online. People who are interested in this thing also tend to be interested in your business. So those are the types of things that you're going to be looking for. So you're going to come up here to the search box and you can do things like places to visit. You can see we did one for your competition, but whoever your main competitor is, a trade association that you belong to or that you do business with, things like that. So here's an example. This is a chain of Mexican restaurants that's started here in Utah and has grown nationally. And so if I was a competing Mexican restaurant, I could go onto their page, see what they've got, and I can go in and look at their followers. So you're gonna pull that up right there. You can see where the little hand is pointing to their follower number. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull up that list of followers and it will bring up all the individuals. You can see here on the right what it's gonna look like. And you can just go ahead and follow that individual and they'll receive an email letting them know that you have followed them. And a fair amount will follow you back if there's someone who's interested in Mexican food, for example. So if I was another Mexican restaurant chain who's going up against Cafe Rio, I'd go in and follow all these folks and see if they follow me back, because hopefully if they're interested in what Cafe Rio has to offer on Twitter, they'd be interested in me too, right? That's kind of the principle there. And you can see all you have to do is just hit that little follow button and it'll send them that notification. And the other cool thing about that, I should add really quick, is that people get really excited when a business starts to follow them. So, if they've been following Cafe Rio all along and Cafe Rio has never followed them, and I come in and I start following them, they'll be like, hey, this other restaurant started following me. That's so cool. People just get a kick out of that kind of thing. So you heard me talk about trending hashtags earlier, right? And that's something we really want to take advantage of. To increase the virality of your page, we're going to be looking for opportunities to incorporate those trending hashtags into your tweets. And those can always be found at the lower left-hand side of the page. You can see here, down here at the bottom of your regular page, you can see it's on the left-hand side, and it's over here on the left. Now, you'll see at the very top here of the list, it's my first popcorn nugget. It's a promoted hashtag by Kentucky Fried Chicken. So there is an opportunity to do that for a big national brand or something. It's super expensive to do something like a promoted hashtag. So it's not usually an option for small businesses, but you can see down here all these other options that people have gotten. And this is just a screenshot from whatever was trending when we took this photo. You know, Rejected Candy Hearts, Valhalla, Tequila Mockingbird, Harper Lee. I think this must have been when she passed away just recently. Valentine's Day, things like that. So all these different things that are trending. And this list is going to change every day. Now, part of what we're doing here on our end here at Social 5 is we're going to be putting hashtags on all the tweets that go out for you too. And we're going to be using more consistent hashtags that are popular in your industry. So they're probably not ever going to be these hashtags that are spiking in the highest popularity, but they're going to be things that someone can find your content categorized on those. And we do try and throw these in every now and then if we know something big is coming up. You know, if the Super Bowl is coming up, we try and use a trending hashtag for that and things like that. So we do, you can predict with some amount of what's going to be trending on Twitter, and we try and take that into account. But it's always fun to go in and check out what's happening and see what's going on. And if you have something that you want to say about one of those topics, go ahead and tweet it on out. Now, by default, Twitter will display the national trends in your hashtags, but you can localize those by clicking the change button, which is right here. So you can see that next to the trends. Now, it does only show major metropolitan areas. So if you're in a small town or something like that, you're going to have to pick a bigger city that's near you. You can see up here, it gives me the options to choose Salt Lake City, which is, our office is technically in Draper, which is a suburb of Salt Lake City, Colorado Springs, Las Vegas, Denver. So it kind of gives the major areas nearby. So that's one thing that is a little bit of a disadvantage, is that it's hard to see what's trending right in your neighborhood, but it still gives you a pretty good feel. All right. Well, we went through that kind of fast. I hope that made sense for all of you. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to pop up now if you have any. I just want to go ahead and make one more plug here for trying to hop in and do this on your own. It can be a little intimidating sometimes, and obviously we're going to be tweeting on your behalf as well. But it's really fun to go in and engage with the folks who are following you online. And it's really a great opportunity too to see what people are saying about you. So, you know, go on to Twitter, hop on, search for your business name, see what people say, and, you know, maybe reply back to them. You know, see what they say, talk to them, engage them. A lot of times, you know, if someone's said something negative online, they say it because they don't really think that anybody is going to hear them or understand what their problem is or whatever. So if you can go on and engage with them and say, gosh, I'm really sorry that you have that problem. Let me see what we can do to fix it. Or, you know, even something cool like that they had a good experience, and you just tweet them back and say, gosh, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. That really goes a long way to building your brand and building that engagement with your followers, and they're going to become a lot more loyal customer. So, all right, well, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and you're all welcome to come back next Tuesday when we'll be talking about LinkedIn and kind of understanding the basics of that. Also, this webinar is going to be posted on our blog later today, so you're welcome to go back and look at it again if you have any questions, or feel free to email us over at support@social5.com if you have anything that you need help with too. All right, well, with that in mind, we'll see you all soon. Thanks so much.